You're here to talk about the Bilderberg meeting, which is taking place as we speak in Stockholm, in Sweden. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, the big bad Bilderberg boys are back in town. Everybody's favorite group from which wars spring. Rumors of wars, plans for wars, many allege. Of course, they're meeting in Stockholm, Sweden. It's their 71st meeting in 71 years, as I mentioned last week when I did a very brief preliminary. We do have, of course, they release it at the last minute. They're just so accommodating. We do have the list of their topics, many of which are bluntly one word, but I guess we have to go with it. Here's their detailed list: transatlantic relationship. Then we have Ukraine, then U.S. economy. Europe is another one. Middle East, that's kind of interesting right now. Authoritarian access. Anybody that's not a globalist is an authoritarian. Defense, innovation, and resilience. Then AI, deterrence, and national security. Another one, proliferation. Then geopolitics of energy and critical minerals. And finally, depopulation and migration, 11 topics in all. And as you see that some of those are one word, you could literally drive a tank through them and not even rub on the sides. But anyway, we have a little bit of footage as I'm describing some of the participants. Thanks to Dan Dix for Press for Truth. He's quite a trooper out there. Anyway, some of the key attendees, we have Albert Bourla of Pfizer. He's becoming a fixture there at Bilderberg. Good for him. Some of the other interesting ones, there's about 140 from North America and Europe like usual. We have Christopher Donahue, the U.S. commander for the U.S. Army in Europe and Africa. We also have, of course, Matthias Döpfner of Axel Springer. He's been working with AI creators and promoters to merge and bring connections between the mass media cartel and AI. There's a lot going on there. We see Peter Thiel being tailed by Dan Dix here in that footage as I'm speaking. A very militant behavior as he exhibited there, just marching forward without saying a word. But some of the others are Michael Kratsios, director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. Robert Lighthizer, who in Trump's first term was his trade negotiator. He's returning as a privateer, the Center for American Trade. We also have Samuel Papero, the commander of the U.S. Indo-Pacific branch of the Army. In terms of the country of the UK, we have the Member of Parliament, Jeremy Hunt, who's there. The President of the Bundestag, Julia Klöckner. Some other interesting ones. Now, the Bank for International Settlements, the central bank of the central banks, they don't often have someone at Bilderberg. Now they do. Pablo Hernandez, general manager-elect of the Bank for International Settlements. Rather interesting there. And today is just an initial swipe at this. I'll be doing a pretty in-depth article and investigation of all these connections. A group I'll be talking about a little later today, the Ditchley Foundation. One of the connections there is John Sowers, longtime MA6. Now he's with Newbridge Advisory Limited. He's at Bilderberg, and he's pretty high up at Ditchley. Now, an interesting one as well is Jason Smith, a member of the U.S. Congress. Well, who cares about the congressman from the 8th District of Missouri? He's a Republican, pretty pro-Trump, but he happens to be chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, which writes all the tariff laws, trade policy, as well as customs guidelines, customs regulations. So he's a very key member of Congress. It could be that they're trying to bend his ear or even bend his arm on tariffs and trade policy to get things more aligned with the globalists. I've got a call into Jason Smith's office. They haven't returned that call yet. They're usually pretty slow about those things, if they return them at all. I might have to try email on that. Sometimes they're more responsive. Other than that, those are some of the big ones for now. You've got the usual sellouts at the media, although there are fewer of the media, legacy media people there than usual. I mentioned Mr. Döpfner of Axel Springer. There's also your Fareed Zakaria, of course. He's been with CNN a long time, and he's a think tanker with the CFR. You have Gideon Rachman, of the Financial Times, Thomas Friedman of the New York Times, some of the key ones there, but not quite as many. Usually you have like 9 or 10, maybe 11, possibly up to a dozen media sellouts who go in there and collaborate with the globalist movement here, the globalist Bilderbergers, but don't actually ever write about it. So that's a lot of the goings on, some of the people there. And of course, there'll be much more in the days and weeks ahead as I work on my major article about this and look for all the ways that this intersects the different topics, the different participants and whatnot. So we'll leave it there for now, but much more connection-wise with Ditchley a little later on in today's show.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much for that.
I quite enjoyed Peter Thiel fleeing the cameraman with that stern look on his face, like he didn't want anybody to know he was there.
He wasn't terribly happy.
Libertarian, Peter Thiel.
Yes, indeed. Palantir, of course, and we love them. Okay, now let's move on. If you like what the UK column does and you would like to support us, there are ways to do that on our support page. You could make a donation or join as a member, and if you do join as a member, you can get access to the members-only content, for example, UK Column News Extra, which follows this program. You can also support us by picking something up at the UK Column shop. And if you buy something from clivetocard.com using the link on this page, we do get a small commission from any purchases there. But if you can't do any of that, please do at least share the material you find on the UK Column website on the various platforms. Let's get around the algorithms because they are constantly in the way. Now, tonight at 7 p.m., Jerm is speaking to Charles and myself, as usual, for Friday, and that has been another entertaining conversation. So join us for that at 7 p.m. tonight in all the usual places, ukcolumn.org/live, for example. And yesterday's 1 p.m. interview, Brian speaking to Vicky Ash on her journey from abuse to her healing, is on the website, an on-demand version. If you can watch that, please do. Another reminder of the Sounds Beautiful Festival, 26th and 29th of June in Wimborne, Dorset. We will all be there. And if you haven't entered the competition yet, the details are on screen for 2 free tickets to that. Please do join for that as well, or take part in that as well. Patrick, you wanted to mention the Freedom Flotilla.
Yeah, just to give people, there's an update on this. Most of the people are back. 3 are stuck in Israel. These are the people that were apprehended by the Israelis on the Madeleine sailboat this past week. And because of the attack with Iran, the 3 of them are still incarcerated. The others have made it back home. So more information, go to freedomflotilla.org, and that is their Twitter profile right up there. So all the information is there. Incredible effort by these people, and they've paid a huge price for it, but also got a lot of support for it as well. Now, we did a great interview with one of the organizers, which was yesterday, Dr. Frank Romano, to give us updates, as well as the Rima Hassan, the European MEP from France, that she was incarcerated and detained by the Israelis as well. So that's up there. YouTube tried their hardest to block this. So please, you people, go to YouTube and share this link, watch this, like it, like the video as well. YouTube did not like this at all for some reason, and probably because of the material that we shared and presented and the testimonies that we gave on this great live stream that we did just yesterday, in fact. And by the way, we do have some of our listeners, including listeners and viewers of this show, who are on the global march to Gaza, which is marching through the Sinai Desert to the Rafah border crossing. One of them in particular I've been in touch with, and the Egyptian government has cracked down hard. They've deported 170, I think, European participants in this by raiding hotels, believe it or not. So some of the people have managed to get out of Cairo and are making their way towards the Rafah border crossing. So we'll give you updates on that as soon as we know more.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick.